Hey guys, so tonight for dinner I'm making a chicken pot pie, but instead of the pie crust I'm using Bisquick. So I have this homemade Bisquick mix recipe that I got from, I don't know what website, it did not print, but I did this once before and it actually worked out. So here's a homemade Bisquick mix recipe, and obviously 6 cups of flour. You make a whole bunch and then from there you make different things, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm gonna definitely make a smaller amount, and then it went on, I don't know why I had to write it, but then it went on to show you when you have that big 6-cup batch of Bisquick mix, the things you could do with it, you know. So I'm going to basically make 2 1/4 cup and follow this recipe so that I really don't have any left over because I don't need to store it. But I will print out or somehow type out this in the description. But I have some leftover chicken that I pulled off, that butterfly chicken that I made. This one was the one with the curry, but all the skin pretty much got the curry flavor, so the chicken didn't get it. So if you didn't eat the skin, it was pretty much just chicken. Then I have some leftover veggie blend, so I'm going to add to it because I have a frozen bag in the freezer. I'm going to scrape out whatever I can out of this ghee. And then this chicken spice is about 3 different bottles of chicken spice mix that all smell the same. I don't know why I had 3 different kind, but they all smell the same, so I just mixed it together. The smell you really get out of that is the celery seeds. So I have my cast iron here, and I have some chicken stock that was frozen, and I am liquefying it. So that's going to be dinner tonight. So there you go. I chopped up and diced all the chicken. I added some more frozen veggie blend to the mix because there was not enough vegetables in that little container. And I like a lot of vegetables. You know what? And the boys actually are enjoying vegetables. They definitely like broccoli the best. But yeah, you know what? You can add broccoli to this. You can do whatever you want. You can add potatoes. I don't have potatoes. I'm just trying to use up leftovers. So let that get all hot. My ice of chicken stock ice cube there, that all melted. So I'll be pouring that in there when this is a little more thawed out and cooked and heated through. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to add the seasoning. Ooh, this chicken. Sprinkle it on. Ooh, you smell that celery salt or celery seed. Smells good. Make that nice and flavorful. Okay, and then usually I chop up onions, and I had sauteed onions, but I completely forgot. I didn't do it, but I'm going to add chives. The boys do like chives. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of them. Give it that onion flavor. That was dried chives from my garden. Put in more of this. Okay. Smells good already. I turned the light on so you can see better. So now I'm going to add flour as a thickener. Get this to coat everything. And cook down a little bit. Maybe a little more. Use cornstarch too. Okay. Then we're going to add the stock. So then the stock will mix with the flour, and as it bubbles, it will thicken. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of it. There. And that'll really get everything heated throughout. So let that simmer a little bit, and then I'm going to start on the biscuit mix. So to make this, I'm not doing the whole thing. So I'm going to have it. So I'm going to use 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ tablespoons of baking powder, 1/2 tablespoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of shortening. So here I have the 3 cups of flour, the 1½ tablespoons of baking powder, and 1/2 tablespoon of kosher salt. So I did the kosher salt, which is my baking powder and my flour. So now I got to get the butter, because I don't use shortening. So if you use shortening, then this becomes shelf stable. But I'm not going to use a shortening, so I use butter. And I'm basically, because you combine everything and pulse it in a food processor, so I'm going to use my, I'm going to cut with a pastry cutter. I'm going to cut the butter into the flour mixture, and that basically is what becomes the biscuit topping. Okay, so let's mix this all up. And I'm using organic King Arthur all-purpose flour. So I cubed up 1 stick, which is 1/2 cup of butter, and I'm gonna cut it with my pastry cutter into the flour. Okay, so I cut the butter in, and now I follow the biscuit recipe. So it's 2½ cups of this mix, but since I only made 3 cups, I'm using the whole thing. And it's going to be 2/3 cup of milk, so I'm going to put a little more than 2/3. And then you bake at 450 for 8 to 10 minutes. So got my milk here. Oops. I use grass-fed. And I'm going to put a little more than 2/3. Okay, so I added way more than 2/3 cup. I even added some 1/2 and 1/2. So I made it more to be like drop biscuits as opposed to, you know, rolling out and cutting biscuits itself. Because I think with this recipe, it's more like rolling out and cutting biscuits. So I added enough 1/2 and 1/2 in milk to make it more like a drop biscuit. And then my chicken here is simmering, but, ooh.
The oven's ready.
Yep, it needed some salt. So I'm going to add some salt because I tasted it. And it definitely needed some salt. Oh, you got me the 1/2 and 1/2 again?
Alright.
And then I like this mix more creamy. Let me taste it.
Like 1/2 and 1/2 in here?
Yep, pour some 1/2 and 1/2 in there.
Just don't want to stop.
That's good. Yeah. I use heavy whipping cream sometimes too. So let's just make this. Okay.
That should be good now.
Yeah. So now I have my oven set at 450, and I'm going to drop the biscuit mix in. And that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to put it in the 450-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes until it's fluffy and golden. And there it is, scorching hot. But it's the biscuity topping. Woo! Boys love it. So I'm going to plate it up. So look at that. Very hot. That's what it looks like plated up. We need to let it cool down before we sink our teeth into that one. But that is dinner tonight. I will look for and link the recipe to the Bisquick mix down below in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.